Okay, our last row here is tertian leap. Tertian leap is a weird way of getting our voicing to go from very wide open to very closed, or from very closed to very wide open, that kind of thing. And it doesn't get used a ton, but it does get used, and we need to know how it works. And the basic rules of it are, you can remember from your thing, is root to root in the bass. The third of the first chord skips to the third of the next chord, right? So you got to know your chords here. This is an A, E, C, and E. A, C, E. I'm looking for this note to skip to. This is an E chord, E, G, B, and we're going to want two E's when we're done. Now skip to the third of that chord. That's why it's called tertian, meaning third, leaps. Okay. After that, it's a little bit of everything else mixed together. So we go third to third, root to root, and then we got our G and we got our E, because the third of this chord leapt to the third of that chord, and the root of this chord moved to the root of this chord. Now, what you do after that is you find the common tone and you hold it over. So there's my E, which is common, and you hold it over. So it's got a little bit of the first method in it, common tone, right? And then the other one is you move this last one by step to get, it's got to move in step in one direction or the other to fill out the chord completely. Now, A could go to B and it could go to G, and they're both in the chord, but we have to look and see what we need. And currently we have an E and an E and a G, and we don't have a B. So this guy has to move by step to the right note to give us a root, root, third, fifth. Okay, so you have to check that one out there. All right, let's tear through these again. If you do one of these on your own first and then check to see how it went, that might help your learning rather than just doing them along with me, but you're welcome just to, do this right with me here. So it's a G chord, G, B, D. This is a C chord, C. We're going to want two C's, an E, and a G when we're done. And the third of this chord is going to leap to the third of that chord. So we have root to root. We got that done. And the third of this chord, B, is going to go to the third of this chord, which is E. Now, do we go down to here or do we go up to there? And the answer is here. This is a fourth. This is a fifth. Down here, we'll make the spacing too big, right? It'll be way, way huge distance between the alto and the tenor, and we don't want that. So we are going to jump up a fourth, not down a fifth in this case, right? And then we get that note right there. And then this guy moves by step to fill this out. And this is my common tone, and that one holds over. We've done this right. We should have two C's, an E, and a G. C, C, E, and a G. Nice. Now, like I said, if this came down all the way to here, well, this is down a fifth, but then the distance here is too wide, more than an octave, and we don't want that, okay? So that can happen. All right, this is an F chord, F, F, A, C. So F, A, C. This is the note that's going to leap over to, this looks like a B chord, B, D, F. We want two Bs, and so it's going to leap to the D. It's already done it for us right here. So there's my root to root, right? Third of this chord leaps to the third of that chord. And then we have these two chords. The common note is the F, and so that's going to hold over. And then the C here has to go up or down a step to fill out the rest of the chord. And the note that we're looking for, we have a D, right? We have a B, and we have an F. We're looking for another B, so this is going to step down to make that B right there, because we want root, root, third, fifth when we're done. All right, two more. So this is a G chord, G, B, D, G, B, D, another G right there. This is a D chord, D, D, F, A is what we're going to want in the end, okay? Third of this chord is the B, is going to leap to the third of this chord, which is the F. There's my B right there. Looks like I could come down to F, but then I think my spacing is going to be kind of funny, because this G right here is going to end up going to the A. And then we end up with too big a space here, like that, right? So in this one case, I guess the tenors are going to leap a fifth rather than a fourth, which is why your formula says usually a fourth. But in this case, we're going to have to leap all the way up to here to keep our spacing the same. So third leaps to third. Common tone holds over. Last note moves and covers the A, so that you will have a complete D, D, F, A, D, D, F, and A. Last one, and then you're done this video. So we have a B chord right here, B, D, F, B right there. B, D, F. Remember, tertian leaps means the third of this chord is going to leap to the third of that chord. This is an F chord right here. So we're going to have F, A, C, and we're going to need two Fs. Root to root gets the first F in the bass. The D here needs to go to the A. It can probably go to there. I don't think we're going to be leaping up to the A there because that would be above the altos, which is not something we ever do. Okay, so there's my third, leaping to the third there. And then this guy is my step up right there to make my C, and this is my common tone, which holds over. All right, tertian leap, root to root in the bass, third of the first chord leaps to the third of the next chord. Usually it's a fourth. Check your ranges, check crossing voices. You can't break any of those rules. And then common tone holds over, last note moves by step to fill out the chord for the last note that you need to have to get root, root, third, fifth. Can't always do tertian leap. Sometimes it's just set up so it's not going to work because the ranges are funny, or to make the leap happen, you'd be crossing over a voice, and we don't cross over adjacent voices. But sometimes it's very, very useful. All right. I hope by now you have these formulas memorized, right? And these other ones originally for the same root. We're actually going to learn, let's see, what's left. There's formulas for chords that are a second or a seventh by inversion, right? This is like a step apart. It's like we could go 4 to 5. That would be a time we'd use that. And there's times where you have chords that are a third and a sixth apart, right? Like if I wanted to go from 4 down to 2 or something like that, right? That would be a time where we use that as well. These have their own formulas. And once we have these down and these down, we can write tons and tons and tons of music. Actually, once you've got this down, you can do tons. Even right now, with just these, you can do tons and tons of things. So we're going to start moving into writing, as well as looking at pieces of music that have been written and making sure that we can see how they put them together. So make sure these guys are solid, because we have to keep adding. When you're done, you're going to have about 10 or so formulas.